I'm Dennis Payne. I restore open source games. I've been doing this for a while, and sometimes people have asked me how I go about picking what games to try out and to restore, and so I thought I'd explain some of my processes by looking at a game I found recently. Now, in this particular case, I was looking on IRC and found this channel for the Libra Games Collective. They are a group that would restore old open source games, which is what I have also been doing. I was particularly interested in them because one of the games they listed as coming soon on their website was Open Alchemist. Now, Open Alchemist, I ended up fixing up, and it still runs the original game, but also has Alchemy Quest as a mode. And there you get the same game, but you get Nintendo style graphics and you get a two-player mode. Now, their website hasn't been updated in uh, several years, so it's clear that the restoration efforts had kind of slowed. Uh, but I looked at what they had done in the past, and here you have one of the games that they have in their GitLab account, which is called Free Siege. It is described as a puzzle block wargame. I enjoyed Puzzle Quest on my PSP, so I thought maybe this could be a similar type of game. Uh, so when I first started up the game, I didn't end up starting the game and playing it proper right away. I went down to this patterns section for whatever reason, and I just looked through here quick, which turned out to be a very good thing. These patterns that they're showing here are not actually shown in the game, so unless you know them, there is no way to determine how to create any of these creatures or anything. So now, one thing you might notice about these is that it's listing them in specific spots, and that is very important. I looked at it as, oh, all right, two swords next to each other will summon this soldier, but that's not actually how it works in the game. If you put them in the wrong spot, it won't actually work. All right, so for trying out the game, I started with human versus human because I figured that would allow me to try it without having the game end right away. So here we get the game itself. You've got controls to move around so that you can select something. You have a button to select something. So we can select uh, this one and move it here. Now, originally, I just tried moving things one spaces and that worked, but the game doesn't require that. You can go over and move things any number of spaces. Once you get a unit available, there is a second button that will go over and activate the unit. And then you will see the unit come out of your castle at the bottom. So here comes the soldier. He comes out, runs over to the other castle to go smash him to bits. And he'll do some damage before the unit goes away. If both enemies have, or both players have units out at the same time, they will fight when they meet each other. So as I said, I had problems where I'd go over and I'd pick this, uh, and then I'd place it here and wonder, well, why didn't that work? And it was all because it wasn't in the right spot. So as you can see, if you do not know what the units are, you're not going to be able to summon one. And so you just have to know what they are. And so if you have an experienced player against someone who doesn't know all the patterns, the experienced player is going to win and the other person is going to be lost. and that's a problem. If you're going to be, if you want to encourage new players to try out the game, you really need better discoverability than this. You will notice that there is no sound in this game. Um, Sound is something I generally don't put a lot of, or I haven't put a lot of effort into originally. Um, I've found that it is very important for capturing the feel of the game, and if you are missing that sound, it can really degrade the experience. So that's something that I could see adding to this game as well. Um, so that's the basics of the game itself. There is also a survival mode. Here you have to go over and keep bringing out units before the enemy overruns you. And so, and each time you activate to bring out units, then it resets the board. So that is the basics of the game. As you can see, I'm not particularly good at this game. Now, the game does have a network option when you're building it. So I built it with the network option, and that goes over and pops up a message saying that their network support is not implemented yet. Which I feel for a game that's stuck with mostly human versus human, you probably want to have a network play. Uh, there's a demo mode that's kind of unusual to me. All it has are the enemy units coming out. You don't see them selecting anything. I don't know if that's a mistake, if that's on purpose, but that's the way they have it. That's the way it works right now. Now, as for whether I'm interested in doing something more with this game, the gameplay to me is not really compelling. And so I'm probably not going to invest some time into fixing this one up. If you do find it interesting and want to play around with it or perhaps improve it, the link to the GitLab will be below. If you find this interesting and would like me to do more videos about open source games that I either look at and say, well, I'm not going to modify them, or perhaps go over and find a new game I want to fix up, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.